Go back to Mexico where you belong." Those words cut like a blade. Emma Rodriguez trembled, not from fear, from containing the power to end this with one strike. She had made a promise to her dying grandfather. "Karate is not for revenge, mija. It's for protection." That promise was about to be broken. Hit that subscribe button. What you're about to witness will change everything you think about strength. Lincoln High School, Phoenix. Where your skin color determined your future. Emma Rodriguez 4.0 GPA, invisible to everyone. They saw weakness. They were about to discover their mistake. 6 months ago, Emma's world collapsed. Her father's construction company failed. Her grandmother's cancer treatments bankrupted them. Her mother worked 18-hour shifts just to keep the lights on. Emma's only hope? A merit scholarship. Every perfect grade was a step toward salvation. Every meant her family might survive in America. But Lincoln High wasn't built for kids like Emma. These were children of privilege who worried about which BMW to ask for, not whether there'd be electricity when they got home. Jake Morrison embodied everything wrong with this place. 6'2" quarterback, son of Phoenix's biggest real estate developer. He carried himself like he already owned the world. "Your kind doesn't belong here," he whispered as Emma walked past the honor roll where her name topped the list. Scholarship thieves taking spots from real Americans. Emma kept walking, always silent. What Jake didn't know was that Emma Rodriguez was a second-degree black belt. That her grandfather Pedro had been a master who taught her not just how to fight, but when fighting was right. Every evening in her grandfather's converted garage dojo, Emma practiced. Each movement was meditation, each technique a reminder of who she truly was. Not the invisible scholarship student. Not the quota filler. She was Emma Rodriguez, granddaughter of a master, inheritor of a tradition that valued honor above victory. But tradition gets tested when injustice becomes unbearable. The digital attack came first. #fake scholar trended at Lincoln High. Photos of Emma's honor roll achievements paired with comments. How much did she pay for those grades? Affirmative action in action. Jake's fingerprints were everywhere, though he was careful never to post directly. He'd weaponized his popularity, turning social media into a harassment platform. Then came the sabotage. Emma's history presentation vanished from her locker. Science reports were, accidentally, destroyed. These weren't random acts, they were calculated attacks designed to destroy her academic standing. The psychological warfare was worse. Teachers began treating her with suspicion. Students whispered when she passed, conversations stopping when they noticed her listening. That's when Sophia Chen entered Emma's life like unexpected sunlight. Sophia was everything Emma wasn't: confident, outspoken, unafraid. Korean American from a successful tech family. She understood what it meant to be other in America while having the confidence to take up space. "Mind if I work with you?" Sophia asked during chemistry lab. Not waiting for an answer. "I heard you're basically a genius." "I don't think that's what people are saying about me lately," Emma replied. "You mean the #fake scholar bullshit? Anyone with half a brain can see that's just racism disguised as righteousness." Jake Morrison couldn't earn a real scholarship if his daddy bought him one. It was the first time someone had explicitly called out what was happening. The relief was overwhelming. That partnership became Emma's first real friendship at Lincoln High. Sophia became her voice when Emma felt too tired to speak. But friendship comes with dangers. Jake didn't appreciate losing his favorite target. If he couldn't isolate Emma completely, he'd make sure isolation spread to anyone who associated with her. The threats against Sophia started subtle. Comments about Asian overachievers sticking together, and warnings that associating with charity cases might hurt her reputation. But Sophia fought back. When Jake made racist comments, she reported them. When his friends spread rumors about her family's business, she threatened legal action. This only escalated Jake's anger. He'd use Emma as a weapon against her best friend. Emma found Sophia crying in the school courtyard. Her eyes swollen, scratches on her arms. Someone had attacked her. Just a misunderstanding. I fell down some stairs, Sophia lied. The bruising pattern was from being struck. The scratches looked defensive. Emma's medical training from hospital volunteering kicked in. Someone did this to you. Who was it? It doesn't matter. I handled it wrong. I should have walked away. But Emma was piecing it together. Jake and his crew had left the courtyard 20 minutes earlier, laughing about something. It was Jake, wasn't it? He did this because of me. Sophia's silence confirmed it. Emma's hands began trembling, not from fear, from a decade of controlled power straining against its bonds. Every lesson about restraint was being tested by rage, so pure it threatened to incinerate everything. What exactly did he say to you? He cornered me after lunch. Him and 3 friends. Said I was making a mistake defending you. That my family's business could suffer if people knew the Chens supported academic fraud. Emma's jaw tightened. Then he said people like you and me were guests in this country. And guests who overstay their welcome get thrown out. When I told him to go to hell, he grabbed me. Said he was teaching me respect. Emma stood slowly, movements deliberate. The trembling stopped. In its place was stillness far more terrifying. Where are they now? Emma, no. This is what they want. If you retaliate, you'll lose your scholarships, your future. My future? Emma's laugh was bitter. What future? The one where I watch my best friend get beaten for defending me? Where I'm too much of a coward to stand up for people I care about. She pulled out her grandfather's karate belt pin. Carried every day since his death. I'm sorry, abuelo, but they hurt someone under my protection. I think staying quiet is just another form of violence now. Her eyes opened with absolute conviction. Today, I stop surrendering. The Lincoln High cafeteria at 3:30 p.m. buzzed with after-school activity. Jake Morrison held court at his usual center table, rehashing their earlier conversation with Sophia Chen. Did you see her face when I pushed her against the wall? These people need to learn their place. His friends laughed, oblivious to students with phones out. Some live streaming the conversation. Jake's casual confession was being broadcast to multiple platforms. Emma Rodriguez entered the cafeteria. The change was immediately noticeable. Gone was the hunched posture. She walked with perfect posture, fluid and purposeful. A different person entirely. Students noticed her entrance and fell silent. By the time Emma reached Jake's table, the entire cafeteria had gone quiet. Emma stopped directly in front of Jake. We need to talk. Jake looked up with surprise that morphed into amusement. Look who decided to grow a backbone. What do you want, scholarship girl? I want you to apologize to Sophia Chen. And stop harassing students who can't defend themselves. Or what? Jake stood up, using his height to intimidate. You'll file a complaint? Write a letter? No, Emma replied, perfectly controlled. I'll teach you what happens when you mistake restraint for weakness. The crowd pulled out phones. Live streams capturing Jake's earlier confessions were now focused on Emma, broadcasting to hundreds. Jake laughed and moved closer, invading her space. You want to fight me, little girl? Just me. That's all I need. Jake reached out to shove Emma backward. But this time was different. As his hands moved toward her shoulders, Emma's body shifted with fluid grace. Her movement was so subtle most observers missed it. But Jake's shove met nothing but air. Before Jake could react, Emma stepped inside his guard, her hand making light contact with his wrist. To observers, it looked like barely a touch. But suddenly Jake was off balance, his own momentum working against him. What the? He started, but Emma's other hand contacted his elbow. And suddenly Jake Morrison was falling. Not being thrown. Simply falling, as if gravity had turned against him. He hit the floor hard. Students gasped, phones capturing the impossible scene. Jake scrambled up, face red with embarrassment and rage. You little bitch. He swung a brutal punch at Emma's face. It didn't connect. Emma moved like water around stone. Her head tilting just enough to let his fist pass harmlessly. As his arm extended, she placed her palm against his shoulder. And pushed, using his momentum to send him spinning. Jake stumbled into a table. Chairs scattered. Stop playing with me, he roared. Grabbing a cafeteria chair, lifting it overhead. The crowd gasped. Someone was about to get seriously hurt. Emma remained perfectly calm. Jake, you're embarrassing yourself. Jake swung the chair down with all his strength. For a horrifying moment, it looked like the attack would succeed. Then Emma moved. She stepped forward instead of back, inside the chair's arc. Her hands guided Jake's wrists. The chair's momentum was redirected, sailing harmlessly aside. With Jake's arms extended, Emma applied pressure to a specific point on his wrist. Jake's hands went numb instantly. The chair clattered as he stared at his hands in shock. What did you do to me? Pressure point manipulation. It's temporary. Feeling returns in 10 minutes. Emma addressed the entire cafeteria. I want everyone to understand. I didn't hurt him. I didn't throw a punch or kick. I simply redirected his aggression back at himself. Jake backed away, cradling numb hands. Stay away from me, freak. I'm not who you need to worry about. You assaulted my friend. You've been hiding behind your family's money, thinking you're untouchable. She gestured toward the crowd, all recording. But you're not untouchable anymore, Jake. Everything you've done, everything you've said, has been recorded. Your own words condemned you. Students shouted about the live streams, about Jake's confession being broadcast. #JakeMorrisonTruth was trending locally. Jake's face went white as he realized the scope of exposure. This isn't over. Yes, it is, Emma replied with finality. Real strength isn't about dominating others. It's about protecting them. Within an hour, #EmmaStandsUp was trending across platforms. The live streams capturing Jake's assault confession and Emma's martial arts display had hundreds of thousands of views. Local news picked up the story by evening. Principal Thompson found himself in an impossible position. For months, Jake's father's donations had made complaints disappear. Now, with video evidence of assault and confession to harassment patterns. Ignoring wasn't an option. The school board convened emergency meetings. Parents were calling. Media was asking questions. The videos showed Emma never threw a punch, she'd simply defended herself. By Friday morning, Jake Morrison was suspended pending full investigation. His friends faced similar consequences. The zero-tolerance policy, traditionally used against students fighting back, was finally applied to bullies. But changes went deeper than discipline. Emma arrived to something she'd never experienced: recognition. Students who'd ignored or participated in her isolation approached with apologies and praise. "That was incredible yesterday," said Maria Santos from AP Biology. "I can't believe you dealt with Jake's crap all this time without saying anything. I should have spoken up," added Marcus Thompson, the principal's son. "I was too much of a coward, but you showed us real courage." More meaningful than praise was the atmosphere change. Students made eye contact with her. Teachers acknowledged her with genuine respect rather than suspicious tolerance. Most importantly, other bullying victims found their voices. David Park approached during lunch, hands shaking. "I wanted to thank you for standing up to Jake. He's been tormenting me for 2 years. And nobody believed me when I reported it." Emma watched his video testimony with growing emotion. His story was heartbreaking but hopeful. He spoke about how Emma's actions inspired him to come forward with harassment evidence. "You saved more than just yourself yesterday. You saved all of us." Universities suddenly became more interested. Arizona State called directly. Dr. Jennifer Walsh had seen news coverage. "Miss Rodriguez, we've been following your story. Your academic record has always been impressive, but yesterday showed us character." Emma's heart pounded. "I'm calling to inform you that you've been selected for our presidential scholarship. Full tuition, books, housing, and living stipend for 4 years." The Presidential Scholarship was ASU's most prestigious award. Given to only 10 students annually. "There's one condition. We'd like you to become a peer mentor for our diversity program. Students facing similar challenges could benefit from your experience." Yes. Absolutely yes. That evening, Emma was back in her grandfather's dojo, but not alone. Sophia had come to watch her practice. "I owe you an apology," Sophia said. "For what?" "For getting you involved. If I hadn't defended you, Jake never would have targeted me." Emma considered this, then resumed practice. "You know what I realized yesterday? I didn't break my promise to my grandfather. I fulfilled it." She gestured toward her grandfather's photograph. "When Jake hurt you, he proved my restraint wasn't preventing violence. It was enabling it. By staying quiet, I was protecting him from consequences. Instead of protecting victims from him." She picked up a towel. "Yesterday, for the first time, I used my strength to actually protect someone. Not through violence, but demonstration. I showed Jake and everyone else that bullies aren't as powerful as they pretend." Sophia smiled. "So what happens now?" "Now I stop hiding who I am. Stop apologizing for success. Stop making myself smaller so others feel bigger. And I help other people find their own strength." 3 weeks later, Emma testified before the school board about proposed anti-bullying policy updates. "My name is Emma Rodriguez. 3 weeks ago, I was invisible, trying to survive high school. Today, I'm here ensuring no student feels as powerless as I did. She spoke about systematic harassment, institutional indifference enabling abuse, and creating systems protecting victims rather than perpetrator reputations. Bullying thrives in silence. It feeds on isolation and grows when good people do nothing. But it dies in truth's light and withers when faced with solidarity. The board voted unanimously for Emma's proposed policies. They established a peer advocacy program with Emma as first coordinator. 6 months later, Emma stood in the same cafeteria where everything changed. But as president of Lincoln High's anti-bullying coalition, peer mediator, helping dozens find voices, and recipient of multiple full-ride university offers. More importantly, she was happy. "Remember when I ate lunch alone?" Emma said to Sophia at their table, surrounded by friends, real friends drawn by shared values and mutual respect. "I remember when we both did." Now the weird kids table became the cool kids table. Emma looked around, seeing ripple effects of that one courage moment. Students from different backgrounds mixing freely. Upperclassmen mentoring underclassmen. Cruelty culture being replaced by genuine community. You know what I realized? When I promised my grandfather never to fight, I thought he was asking me never to fight. But he wasn't. He was asking me to ensure when I did fight, it was for right reasons. And what are the right reasons? To protect people who can't protect themselves. Stand up for justice when no one else will. Use whatever strength you have serving something bigger than yourself. Emma smiled, feeling her grandfather's presence. I'm not the quiet girl absorbing hatred anymore. I'm not invisible, trying to survive. I'm Emma Rodriguez, and I use my strength to lift others up. As afternoon sun streamed through cafeteria windows, illuminating faces filled with hope and purpose, Emma knew this was just the beginning. The girl they underestimated had become the woman they'd never forget. If Emma's story moved you, hit subscribe. Share with someone who needs courage. Somewhere out there, someone's waiting for strength to stand up. Maybe Emma's story will be their spark. Your life, your story, your courage, it all matters more than you know. Stay strong, stay brave, and never underestimate standing up for what's right.